Hello, I'm Gaji15. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, each week I bring you new content on the Lion King lore. Today I'm ranking the top 10 baddest characters given that it's near Halloween, so let's get right on it. At number 10 we have Mama Binturong, who is the Binturong in the third season of The Lion Guard. Now, she's not considered the main antagonist, but some can consider it that. She's kind of silly, kind of crazy. Some people have put it that she's like one person on the Lion King fandom wiki, BungaloverLover123, I believe. She said, or she's, or I don't know, they said that Mama Binturong is basically a 40-year-old Karen who got angry at Kion, our 13-year-old, for stealing her essential oils, which kind of basically sums her up, but she is probably the smartest villain in the third season, as she's the one who almost has the plans works, and when she shows up, she's kind of the smart of the bad guys, Makucha's army, even though she's more like, I feel like the general, the leader, because she's the smartest person on that army. Number 9, we have the 1994 Shenzi. Now, 94 Shenzi was one of the characters got a huge reboot, along with the other two hyenas, though she was the only one who kept her name. Now, Shenzi is the main hyena, I would say. Some people would say they're equal. The Shenzi takes more literal, especially this reinforces with what actually happens with hyenas in the wild, where there's a female is the leader. And so while she's a little more funny, she does take command, and she's lighthearted compared to 2019 Shenzi. But she's the leader, she always comes out first, and she's the one who really brings out the idea of eating Scar at the end of The Lion King.
Friends? I thought he said we were the enemy.
So she definitely is the main of the three hyenas, but she is only number 9 because there's other bad guys like her 2019 reboot. For number 8, we have the Selfish Lion, who appears in The Brightest Star in the book about Mahato, who is most likely Mufasa's grandfather, Scar's grandfather, Simba's great-grandfather. Now, the Selfish Lion was a lion who was, well, selfish. He didn't want to share water during a great drought, and he would attack other animals trying to get water at He would attack other animals trying to attain water during this great drought. This led Mohato to have to go leave the Pride Lands and find another water source. But he did not want to share, and he attacked other animals for that. So, not a very nice guy. For number 7, we have Makucha. Now, Makucha is the main leader of the Makucha's army, obviously, in the third season of Lion Guard. Now, like I said before, Mama Binturong seems to be more of a real leader, as she has smarter plans. But Makucha does not just show up in the third season. He doesn't just have, like, sees them, they screw him up over his Tuliza plans or stuff like that, or they they don't screw him up just then. For many episodes before that, the Lion Guard is bumping into Makucha, and you know, honestly, I have to sympathize with Makucha a little bit, because they're knocking into his territory, they're saying, let us pass, and honestly, if you think about it, the Lion Guard was kind of wrong to do that. I mean, they just went into the territory, fight them, and Makucha was portrayed as the bad guy. So I can sympathize with Makucha. His cause seems a little more real, why he wanted to get even with the Lion Guard. And he follows them to the Tree of Life to eat all the rare and exotic animals there. He never really does that, but that's what he does. He has a really good musical score, as I said a few weeks ago. Number 6, we have 2019 Shenzi. So she's a little bit up higher in the list than 1994 Shenzi. Now, Shenzi was really dark, really scary, and really, really cool in the 2019 Lion King remake. She was fierce, and she brought on more of a scary role, like I said just now. on. She was the leader of the Hyena clan, and this was portrayed greater. She was darker. She was powerful, and she wasn't as funny. But I mean, some people complain about that. I understand that. But also, she was just so cool. She was a bad guy. She was in heart a much darker and much badder bad guy than the 1994 Shenzi, but she was just so cool, and I'm just rambling now, and I just love her. So now we have at number 5 is the group of evil lions who fought against Ascari. Now, in the second season of The Lion Guard, the episode Secrets of the Walls, or Secrets of the Caves, or I can't remember, it is revealed how Ascari, the original leader of the Lion Guard, formed the Lion Guard. And this when this group of evil lions comes into the Pride Lands, and they just start destroying it, and they force him to form a group, a guard, essentially, an army, one would say, a battalion, I'm not sure, but they forced Ascari to form a group with the bravest, the fastest, the strongest, and keenest of sight, along with him as the fiercest, to battle these guys. So you could see it took a lot of things to stop these group of lions. And while there's not a lot of known about these lions, if Ascari had to form this powerful force that would like last for maybe hundreds of generations, that's mean there was these lions were definitely really bad guys. At number 4, we have Ushari, who's like my personal favorite bad guy of the Lion Guard, and I think he's just really cool. He is the snake, this cobra, who gets screwed over by the Lion Guard, kind of like Mukuja. But Ushari's a Pride Lander at first, and he's actually the first character to turn bad in the Lion King franchise, I believe. So essentially, Ushari is just trying to live his life, and the Lion Guard always runs him over. He bites Bunga on the butt once, and the thing is, they sometimes take away his food. In this one episode, when they're respecting the Circle of Life, they stop Ushari from taking his place in the Circle of Life, essentially, by taking away his food. And so Ushari finally has enough of it one day, and he turns to evil and brings back Scar from the past. And Ushari eventually dies, but not before giving Kion his Scar. He's actually the first character to die on the Disney Junior show, so that's no trophy for him. I just really liked him. He had a song. Well, it was pretty decent. I like listening to sometimes. The bad guy songs in the Lion Guard were definitely better than the good guy songs. But Ushari was just, he wasn't like good guy, he was just like a good guy, you know. He wasn't like Simba turning bad, or like Tifu or Zuri, because like Simba's more extreme. But Ushari was, you know, had enough, kind of like Makucha, and he just couldn't with them anymore. So yeah. Number 3, we have Scar, which might be surprising for people being so off this rank, but Scar kind of became a victim. Like, he had this poison essentially in his blood, same as Kion did, and we saw how Kion, who was this like great good guy, just turned evil by this venom, and the same thing happened to Scar. Of course, he killed his brother, and he tried to kill his nephew, and like maybe 3 times he tried to kill them, and you know, Scar wasn't, and he killed his own Lion Guard, so he has like at least 5 lions on his blood on his hands. Some say he killed Nala's father, which would add it up to 6. But anyways, Scar was a really bad guy. He's a really famous bad guy. I don't think I have to really explain him. Just that he did not, it might have been under the influence of the venom why he was so bad all this time. Like, we can't excuse the evil things he done, but we can explain them away. And I feel like that levels down his evilness. Like, there's a reason why he was poisoned, essentially, and he was clouded into this. So number 2, we have the Strange Lion, who is the reason Scar turned into Scar. And the Strange Lion is this rogue lion who schemes to take over the throne from under Mufasa. So this is the guy who wanted the throne before Scar wanted the throne. So the strange lion had a plan to make Scar his pawn, and he did that with the help of his friends, the strange cobra. So I guess we can kind of slash it. This is number 2 is the strange lion and the strange cobra, but I feel like the strange lion is the leader, so has more vitality over him. So the strange lion poisons, well, he causes the Scar onto Scar, and he causes him to go evil, and he's gonna try to tell him, I'll fix the scarf, but only if you do what I say. So essentially, he wanted probably Scar, his real name was Scar to use his roar to take over the Pride Land. So Strange Lion was a very bad guy. Yeah, there's not much to say to him. He was a really nasty fellow. So before we go to number 1, we have some honorable mentions. So on the honorable mention list, we have Bansi and Ed, 1994, because they aren't really in the 2019 version. The Benzi and Ed are just kind of like fun guys. They're in the 94, all 3 hyenas are closer in rank than in the 2019 version. So they are more of like, would be a main bad guy in the Lion King. So they're kind of like still sort of like Shenxi's henchmen, but they definitely try to eat Simba, and then they go on to eat Scar. And, you know, they don't care about the circle life or just eating their take, and they probably try to invade the Pride Lands more than once, as we see in the beginning of the movie. So not too great of guys. Another character is Kibori, the leader of the crocodile float. Kibori was so focused on his crocodile ways that he couldn't turn good. In the episode Battle for the Pride Lands, at the end, Janja and his clan turned good. Ray Ray and her jackals and what's his name? I can't even remember now. The vulture and his parliament, I guess that's what he called it. They kind of gruffly say they'll follow Jasiri's rule on the Outlands. But not Kibori. Kibori is more like, I'll just do what we always do, survive on our own. And Kibori didn't want to take his own share. He wanted to take more like that than that. And he tries to get leadership from the role. So he's kind of like Maku, another bad guy, but Maku turned too good at the end, and Kibori never did that. So that is Kibori. Another honorable mention character, the last one we're gonna do, is Kenya. Now Kenya was this lizard who, with his bite of his venom, could stop people in their tracks. Kind of like Ore did in the 3rd season, but Kenya was far more cool in my opinion. He was in one episode, no, 2 I think, where he would stop the Lion Guard. He was just a bad guy. He didn't like them. He especially didn't like people calling him small. So that's him. He was also the person who Ushari sang a song about, so that makes him better. Before I reveal the number 1 baddest character, make sure you follow, you like, you comment, and you subscribe on here, on our YouTube channel, and on Instagram. So make sure you do that. And number 1 is Zira. So Zira was a really crazy person. She didn't care about her kids. She had this strange adoration for Scar to the point over her own children. She was crazy. Nothing could stop her. She was probably absolute psychopath. I don't know what happened to her to make her like this, but she absolutely adored Scar so much over her own children. She didn't care about her children. Her children were a means to her end. She hated Nuka, and then when Nuka died, she saw him as this glorified war hero. She hated Simba for killing her precious Scar. And in the episode's Lines of the Outlands, Zira, at one point, it's very strange because Kyan said he sided with the Circle of Life, and now Zira she's gonna give him a second chance. So undoubtedly she knows that Kyan's not gonna change sides. But why did she bring her children to see this? Well, probably to know if they turn their back on her, if they betray Zira, she will kill them like she was planning to do with Kion. So Zira was an absolutely crazy character, definitely the scariest, the baddest character in the franchise, more than Scar, more than any other character. She was just crazy. So that's it. That's the top 10 scariest or baddest characters in the Lion King franchise.